These are the best built homes by the best of the best builders, as judged by their peers. As the architectural judge for the 20th year of these Ultimate Building Awards, I can say the homes you'll see on this show are the pinnacle of building excellence in New Zealand. In association with placemakers, welcome to the Registered Master Builders 2010 House of the Year. This Christchurch home won the Outdoor Living Award. Also the Jib Living Solutions Award. And Clive Barrington Builders have won the Platinum Award, which is a new award this year for any master builder who has won more than 5 national titles. Over the years, Clive has more than doubled that criteria. Now, for those of you keeping track at home, that's 11 nationals. 11.
Well, you're building a house on a hairpin bend on a main arterial road, on a hill, incredibly steep hill, nothing really for the house to sit on. The road behind us was collapsing, and we're using really difficult materials that had to be craned in.
The design called for a diverse range of building materials.
So we've got precast concrete, in situ concrete, left with the boxing marks in it. We've got precast concrete that's been stained to look like rusty steel. We've got rusty steel, Timaru bluestone on the terraces. We've managed to save some existing Horseville quarry stone from the original house that we've relayed on the terraces. The list goes on, but it's all very permanent and honest stuff.
The designer is Stephen Fitzgerald, who needed to work with a builder that could cope with some pretty extreme challenges.
This was a difficult build, and it's not only a difficult build, but the composition of the whole building was difficult. Clive Barrington's probably got the biggest architectural book selection than any architect that I know. So he's somewhere between a builder and an architect.
I have a real interest in architecture, and that seems to bring me to these wonderful projects.
Even now he gets a wow factor from it.
We've created little outdoor spaces, little gems cut into the rock. That really does it for me. Everywhere you walk around this place, there's another surprise.
For Clive, it's a real highlight of his building career.
This house is as good as anything I've ever been involved with, if not the very best.
It's not about construction. It's about a finished result, which is architecture. He's winning awards with other architects. So it's not the architecture that's helping him win the awards, it's Clive Barrington Construction. So he's a one-off, he's special. And, you know, there's not many people in the profession that could create a project on this site like Clive Barrington and his team have done it.
Karen and Lindsay, owners of the 600 to a Million New Home Award, wanted the house to fit in with the neighbourhood.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we just wanted something that was going to look like it had always been here, you know, something that just blended in nicely with the environment.
And some consistency with the houses that are in the street already, which, you know, share some of the same materials.
It takes advantage of every aspect of the section.
The beauty is that you do feel that you're on the lakefront as well because of the glass doors, all the glass going through. So you sort of got the best of both worlds. You got privacy, you got the best, you got the sun, you got shelter, but you can see all the action that's happening on the lake, which is always entertaining.
Now, with all these houses, you'll hear me talk about the attention to detail. But with the Mark Hames house, he really brings that phrase to life. Mark Hames is the builder responsible for a high level of finish. You've got a little bit of detail here that you've gone the extra mile.
Yeah, it's good. Little capping pieces and infills with copper and Yeah, I mean, when you say it's a seated, it's right at the front of the property. It's nice Vitex timber, and so you may as well do the little bit of attention to detail bits. I mean, the architect specified all these copper flashings and everything, and we just put the little closers on top of the bolts, and yeah, no, it's good, I like it.
You learn you've got to have faith in the architect, faith in the joiner, faith in the builder. And we're lucky on all three counts that they seem fantastic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, far exceeded our expectations, really.
You know, the proof of that is that as stuff was delivered, as stuff was put together, we just didn't change a thing, and we're thrilled with it, and there's very little we'd want to change.
This new Plymouth home won the New Home 450 to 600,000 award.
We wanted to capture all the views, and we're very exposed here with all the prevailing winds, and we find the way we've done it, we can move around the house depending on the weather conditions.
That's the thing, we can open up all the spaces, and it's amazing how much space you create when you can open walls and out onto the decks. You create a really nice living area, and if you've got the weather that goes with it, well, it'd work well.
David Fabish was the builder. He's proud of the details, especially the negative ones.
There's no trim at all. There's no conventional trim in the place. It's all negative details. They're everywhere.
That means no architraves to hide any mistakes.
The walls give the illusion of floating between the ceiling and the walls, so ceiling and floor travel in under the walls.
It's a standard of work that befits a registered master builder.
Registered master builders obviously have got a lot to offer their clients as far as backup with the guarantee system, and also advocacy and help if things don't go quite as they should do. The public has got a lot of recourse and a lot of comfort in knowing they've hired a master builder that has been vetted by the organisation and also has the backup of the organisation behind them to make sure that the build goes as smoothly as possible.
David delivered what we were looking for, and probably a bit more than what we expected. And I think that reflects in the fact that we're quite good friends now, and we really enjoyed the experience of working with them.
Quite exceptional, I think.
Yeah.
The New Home 350 to 450,000 award went to this QMU house, designed by architect Paul Lishka.
I mean, it's an interesting house because it's a rural house, but it's not a farmhouse, and so it seems to work well for them that way.
It's a family home, on a budget, packed with features.
We've got sliding doors that disappear into a cavity. We've got the concrete floors again that are difficult to work on once they're poured. The exposed trusses, they're handmade on site. Again, they're nice and clean and efficiently built. So yeah, I think there's real craftsmanship in the building.
And the experienced leader of the skilled craftsmen on this project is Alan Wallace.
I think when I've been building 46 years now, I get along in the tooth, it's sort of like taking up challenges, and I'm lucky I've got a good crew behind me and good sub-trades too that they want to do the challenge with me. You know, just to do it what we're born to do, is build.
And I think the builder's done a great job here. It just feels great.
Registered master builders create houses of every shape and size and for any budget. And this next award winner is no different. Winner of the James Hardy Show Home Award was built by Arrowtown builder Alistair Saville and his team. They had a few constraints to contend with.
The use of material, making it blend in with the local area, which certainly sets the house off and helps it blend into the whole golf course rural feeling we're trying to create here as well.
It's a modern home that reflects the Central Otago heritage.
This plaster system here is a bit of a replica of what the miners' huts around Arrowtown and the Queenstown district have. So it sort of brings a bit of old to new, I guess.
It's a show home that demonstrates the commitment to excellence the AJ Saville team have for every project.
I think we'd like to provide a consistency of workmanship as well as finishing on time and hopefully under budget. We also bring in, all my guys are sort of get a dedication and a passion for what they do.
A stone's throw away in Queenstown is the winner of the Placemakers Heart of the Home Kitchen Award. BJ Carter Limited Southland was the builder who contracted Lloyd Richardson for the stunning joinery. While in Hawke's Bay, builder Ian Welsh Construction picked up the Placemakers Bathroom Award within this striking piece of architecture. The winner of the Affordable Home 250 to 350,000 award was built by Richard and Natasha of Benchmark Homes Christchurch. They offer a combination of design, construction and value for money.
For most people, their home is their biggest investment that they'll ever have. So we personally, we want to do a good job for them. You really want to give them something that they will love and enjoy and that will work for their family. And that's, if you put the effort in, you can really do that for people.
Well, I guess this is a main feature. We are walking 3 wide through your corridor. What do you like best about the house?
For me, I think it's the flow. When you come right from in through the front door, through the house, I love the fact that it's open. It's just a lovely wide open space. I think it's just beautiful. It's got that real indoor-outdoor flow. And it's a fabulous house for entertaining. You know, it is absolutely spot on.
It's proof in the fact that the best can often be something very simple. It's the simple, clean lines and restrained material palette that make this house stand out amongst its peers.
Good design doesn't have to be expensive design. You know, things that line up, things that make sense. And if you do that, good design doesn't have to be expensive design. And this house is a real testament to that.
My favourite bit of the house is actually from outside looking back into the house. We've got a nice private backyard where we can sit and talk and just do outdoor things, but at the same time it's all connected to the inside, and all the different angles of the house just comes together really well.
Down the road in Ashburton, another affordable home won the under 250,000 category. Built by Mike and Andrea Lee of Fowler Homes Ashburton.
The Fowlers were absolutely marvellous, and they were always here if there was something that you decided you wanted to alter a wee bit, which we do, and they had no problem with that. Yeah, they'd just do it for you.
Annette was very specific about wanting open plan, lots of light, and a walk-in pantry. I guess it's not just
your attention to detail, it was hers early on, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, she knows what she wants and her expectations of what she wants as well. So we're just trying to get it to the best that we could get it, so that that we were happy with it. If I couldn't accept it in my house, well, it wouldn't be good enough for her. Is what I'm trying to say, really.
Well, it's nice to see in a smaller home you can get a good value and some pretty neat design features in this house as well.
Once you understand what type of people they are, you can actually help them build their house a lot easier.
Well, there had to be a downpipe on this corner, but instead of using a plastic tube, they've got a chain. Beautiful little detail.
And all those features on a tight budget.
Very close to budget, but we maximised every penny she had and got her everything she wanted, which worked out really well. Proud of this wee one because it's a lot of effort and nice client.
Mark's work exceeded Annette's high standards.
Mike is so particular about everything. Everything's got to be perfect, which, it wouldn't have got its award unless it was. Fellas were wonderful.
This Waikato home won the New Home 1 to 2 million award and the brand's Sustainable Home over $1 million. It was built by Greg McGovern Limited, Hamilton.
As soon as I saw the design of the project, I thought, yep, this has got something special about it. And the way it was designed on a windy site, the building's designed around a kite. And so all their living's on the sheltered side. And the focus of the 3 columns, which is the main part of the house, that really set the house off.
Well, I guess your cedar work is probably the most stunning feature of the home.
They work really well. Just disperses the light, soften the light into the home. And stops a lot of overheating, a lot of glare. And this column here has got that's the focal point for the valley that runs right through the house.
Oh, I'm looking forward to the evening and see the light coming through there.
Yeah, you just get that finger look right across the lawn. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
The owners approached the project with an open mind.
Pretty loose brief. We wanted the separate wing for the spare bedrooms, and we wanted a compact living area. We had no idea what the finished product looked like.
It's an elegant design with common sense functionality.
One of the other things that's worked out very well for us, I think, is the entrance. And as you walk into the reasonably wide entranceway, and then the big glass doors looking down the gap between the 2 wings of the house. One of the things that I insisted on was maintaining a view of what was my farm, isn't it? And they've actually turned out, I think, better than I thought they would be. So that was a real positive.
It won its award for sustainability. Greg takes a holistic approach.
Certain little practices that you do, like this is on a clay site, so it's very hard to grow your garden. So we strip the topsoil off, and the waste, the gypboard waste, we spread across the clay and then put the topsoil over top. And what that does, the gypsum breaks down the clay. So instead of all your gyp going to a landfill, just make use of it on site. So it's just little things like that, which probably little things, but in the overall picture, you imagine all the homes built through the country, certainly saves a lot of waste.
I thought I'd be up here every night cleaning up, and all I did was come up in my gumboots, walk around and make a mess. We never had to tidy up once in the whole build exercise.
It was a great experience, and I didn't want it to end. It was so much fun. We just couldn't have chosen a better builder for us. As personalities go, it all worked really well. Yeah.
I think I've said before, the whole exercise was a pleasure. I'd do it all again as long as I could work with the same team and somebody else paid the bills.
The Meridian $500,000 to $1 million Sustainable Award went to Lighthouse Construction Limited for this Waiheke project.
we've taken this to the next level, to the top level. You couldn't really get more carried away than what we've done here.
It's a home and office.
It's truly sustainable because it is a mixed-use building. I mean, I think it's got a longer life expectancy for that reason alone, because it not only meets the needs of today's user, but meets the needs of possible owners in the future, because they may have different requirements for the building. So it's very flexible in that way. So I think that's truly sustainable.
It's not just concept sustainability here, but also practical green solutions.
Well, Bryce, so this is the plant room.
Yes, yeah, it certainly is. We've got our water storage tanks here, so this is all the water that's collected off the roofs, which is filtered before it's pumped through the house. Yeah.
Okay. About 35,000 litres, I guess.
Bang on, Guy. Very good.
And down here, you're covering a lot of bases with alternative means of fuelling the house, but
sure.
So what have we got here?
We've got our windy boy. This is from the vertical wind turbine, which we've got out the back there. And this is our sun power, so it's our photovoltaics, or our PVs. Both are going through battery storage, which is used when there's a blackout in power, and back through and into the grid.
That's creating a negative on your bills, is it?
It is. That meter up there should be going backwards when both of those are working and not using too much power. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. So that must be that's a bill printing out or something.
That's the little fan. So it's obviously pretty hot up there and it's cooling itself down. So there's plenty of power being generated with the PVs at the moment. Yeah, what's that? Generating 4.2 kilowatts at the moment so far today from the PV panels. So that's not too bad. And that's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like walking into work and seeing that windmill going around and knowing that, you know, that's paying for my power, or paying for the power in our office. So it's a great feeling, you know, it really is. And every time the sun comes out, you go, wow, there's money in the bank, you know. You know, it meshed well with me, with my philosophies. I just think that sustainability is paramount. I mean, the world cannot carry on the way it's carrying on. We need to get out there and show people what can be done, and be a lot more responsible for what we do.
This home won the Sustainable Homes Under 500,000 award. They not only own the house, but also the company that built it. Richard of Richard's Construction Limited Martin did the building, but I think that Christina was the boss.
I approached the building most days, actually, and they thought, uh-oh, here she comes.
So you'd be the worst client, probably.
I was probably the worst client, yes, because I was up here saying, but how's that going to work? What's that going to look like? Is that what it's meant to be like?
It shows how a modest investment in sustainability now will pay dividends in the short term.
The solar system will be paid for itself in a matter of about 4 years. So all the time after that is a freebie. I mean, our power bills are minimal.
How far down are they?
Our electricity bill for the last month was about $80, and the month before was $52.
Both the walls and floors are themselves sustainable features. They absorb the sun's free energy and act as heat stores. Recycled matai provides a thermal break, keeping that energy bottled inside.
And people often comment on that when they come in, you know, how comfortably warm it is without being too hot.
And it's cool in summer.
The high windows we've got and the windows on the opposite side of the house are quite low level, so we get a sort of a continual draft, even when there's not much of a breeze. Any heat that's rising sucks a bit of air from the outside and then forces it out through the top windows, and so that keeps the place cool.
Add together the matai recycled into joinery and the homegrown veggie patch to complete the sustainable picture. Just leaving Christina to give it the big tick.
At the end of a project, the best quality controller comes on site, and that's me.
When she's cleaning.
Because I actually do, and I do it on all our contracts, I do all of the cleaning, and it's a really, really great way to do the quality control because, believe me, I'm like the control police.
So, you know, would you hire Richard's Construction again?
I certainly would, yeah, actually. Would I? I don't know.
I hope so.
No, if I was a client, I'd be more than happy to use the company, and Richard is a great person to build with.
Winner of the Placemakers Renovation Over 500,000 Award is John Crichton Builders, another of the regulars on the show.
John, describe for us what used to be here, and this is the new addition.
Well, this is the bank. Used to come, you know, right down here, and that was the outside wall of the house there. There was no outdoor living at all out this side. So the full length there just got excavated out, and they've been able to achieve all this extra living space and indoor-outdoor area. It's just worked a treat, really.
Architect David Hill has worked with John on many occasions and is always impressed by the John Crichton Builders' handiwork.
It went right through to things like the maple flooring in the old house. We matched the maple flooring in the new addition and went back and resanded the old maple flooring, so you're walking down, it's seamless, it all looks like a new floor.
We ended up recoating the whole place with a rock coat plaster system just to make it look as if it was all one.
What I like about this is here's the old part and the new part. And what John's done is he's hidden the joint between the two behind this downpipe here.
What we did was we brought the downpipe along, and where the two different types of plaster systems meet, we've got a big construction joint, so we just thought we'd put a downpipe behind it to disguise it so you can't see it. So just little things like that, and it's just attention to detail, that make a good job, a gold medal winning job, I guess, yeah.
Primarily it's his standard of workmanship. The level of workmanship he puts into a job is really, really good. He has great quality control systems. There's a lot of pride there in the work they do and the product they're delivering.
Building can be a stressful time, but really I think it should be a fun time. And I think that the end result speaks for itself, when the clients come in and they've seen it all finished, and especially I think with renovations, people go to me, I didn't think it would come up this good. And obviously it has come up this good. We've won a gold medal, so yeah. It's good.
Every day I wish for a time machine.
Winner of the Placemakers Renovation 250 to 500,000 Award was built by Richard Hay and his team at Ajax Construction of Gore. It was built with many future generations in mind.
We had to have the passion, and as our clients did, if it's going to stand the test of time, it's going to be here for another 100 years, and that's the way we looked at it right from the start.
It was built a century ago by Angus's grandparents.
And they renovated it, and then my parents, 20 years later, redid the living area, and then 20 years later, it was their turn.
But there's a real feeling of history. Within each room, it's that knowing that, which aunt slept in that room and then which great-aunt slept in that room, and, there's all that family history, and so all that extended family come back. I mean, this is their house as well. It's not just our house. It's all those past generations, and hopefully it'll be the future generations.
And Mum and Dad were in there, and this used to be a playroom.
Angus has already had a crack at renovations as a whippersnapper.
Yeah, that was very functional. I was in that room there, and this room here, it was a granny flat, but she wasn't using it anymore. And then I thought there needed to be a door, and I asked my parents, and they said, yep, that was a good idea. Oh.
I think we've achieved all of our goals. We've got a house that's warm, that's inviting. It's got that nice, warm as in protecting us from the elements, but warm as in a family home as well. We've maintained the character. We've got, you know, modern conveniences at the same time as still got that old villa feel about it.
We used to get ice on the windows in the winter, so we don't get that now, which is brilliant.
Angus and Deb have created a legacy.
So we wanted to make sure that we were future-proofing it, I guess, for future generations of our family. So it's kind of special in that way, that it's not you're doing a renovation that you're going to sell in a few years, you're doing a renovation that we're going to be hopefully keeping within our family.
The team at Ajax Construction are proud to have future-proofed a piece of Southland's history.
It's been around that long, it's got to be around for the, you know, the future generations, and you know, we've turned out a product that everyone loves.
I definitely would highly recommend them. Yeah. And we have recommended them already to other friends and things. And yeah, they did a wonderful job of those, and we're really pleased with the final results.
Winner of the Placemakers Renovation Up to 250,000 Award and Placemakers Supreme Renovation of the Year was won by Andrew and his team from Pearson Group Limited of Wellington.
I wanted to have something that still had that feel, in which my furniture would sit happily, but it needed modernising.
I like you in your pajamas, without your manners, just like you do.
Well, Andy, I guess this is where the project started, right here. Exactly. This is where the client thought the house needed a lot more space. So we took out a large wall here and a big chimney.
Okay. And then you've seamlessly integrated, what is it, matai flooring, is it?
Yeah, I'm quite proud of this. The guys did a great job. They've custom made each of these boards so they fit the space perfectly. These are all brand new windows. They were originally 6 lights, and we've added the 2 extra lights to the bottom.
And it really enhances the view out of here to the, you know, the beautiful Kelburn landscape.
Yeah, and it lets a lot more light into the house.
The renovation revealed a little piece of architectural history.
You wanted to get rid of it?
Yes, I wasn't terribly keen about the fireplace, but he said, no, it's grey young, you must keep it.
Yeah, this is the fireplace here, Guy. Essentially, we were instructed to take out this corner, but as we opened this up, we discovered this fireplace, and this brickwork here is classic grey young. The architect especially was passionate about retaining it, so we've constructed this fire surround and hearth and retained this detail.
The period house needed precision craftsmanship.
Attention to detail, being a perfectionist, and wonderful, excellent communication. Particularly good at that. You get hold of Andy anytime, day or night.
And you'd recommend to the next people down the track?
Absolutely, I've had floods of people asking me who was the builder.
The first of the commercial awards is the Industrial and Infrastructure Project Award. It was won by Mainzeal Property and Construction Limited. It's a jewel in our crown, the Supreme Court.
Well, I've heard one of the judges tell some very prominent New Zealanders that this is the best courtroom in the world.
Mike Prince was leading this massive project for Mainzeal. There were 2 phases, the spectacular new build and renovating the old High Court building. A lot of the hard work is locked away underground. The renovation needed to protect the building's heritage from the ground up. To do that, the old court needed to be placed on top of leaded rubber piles that dampen the effects of earthquakes.
They allow here for 250 millimetres of movement in any direction.
So the ground's moving here?
The ground's moving, and the bearing itself will distort in any direction.
So this really acts like a car shock absorber. You know, the ground is moving and the fragile structure above remains relatively stable. Well, this is an inspiring renovation of our old High Court building. But the real star of the show is next door.
This is probably the most remarkable room I've been in New Zealand. The design isn't just about aesthetics, but making a statement.
The judges had requested that the law be seen to be transparent and seen to be done. And so therefore it was not to be a building that was solid. So we reversed that around and made it totally glazed on the outside. And then a window to the street so that passers-by could see justice being done should they so wish. The cladding inside was inspired by a carry cone on how nature sort of clads unusual shapes. Each panel is individually shaped, has a different face angle on it to control reflectances, but also to absorb sound, and the holes in the panels vary as well, so very complicated. A clause I wrote for the workmanship went something like this, that these buildings are significant New Zealand buildings, and as such our workmanship endeavours should be to the very best of our abilities to be able to be viewed by present and future generations. So that was the clause, and when you look at the outcome, Mainzeal and Mike Prince and his team have delivered on that, and I think New Zealand should be proud of this building.
Les Mills in Christchurch took the Tourism and Leisure Commercial Project Award for Lees Construction Limited.
Look, as a business, we've got a big, hairy, audacious goal, or a star goal, of being the world's best gyms. And as we build each one of our new ones or refurbish any of our existing clubs, we try and create an environment, a physical environment, that really adds to their experience. It's sort of a daytime nightclub thing that we've got going on in most of our spaces.
Project leader from Lees Construction Limited was Andrew Klukas.
Les Mills wanted this to be their sort of best facility that they had on the market at the time. They wanted a really high-class finish, a purpose-built facility with lots of sort of light, energy sort of efficiencies. So yeah, there's definitely lots in the building.
The building's at the cutting edge of technology in construction technique, sustainability and infrastructure, and all that's on show.
Well, I guess behind the scenes here, you can really see that Lee's attention to detail is, well, it's very awardable.
It's a very colourful, very sort of live building. Everybody seems to be having fun in it, you know, so I guess at the end of the day, a lot of people get to enjoy the fruits of our work.
It was a tough build. There was a lot of new building techniques that they were looking to achieve. And on a personal level, I enjoyed working with them, and they've just built a beautifully finished building that we're absolutely thrilled with.
Brookfield's Multiplex Construction, New Zealand Limited, is the winner of the Retail and Business Project Award and is the Registered Master Builders 2010 Commercial Project of the Year. Built atop the Jean Batten building in downtown Auckland, it preserves a piece of Auckland's heritage, while the new building sets a benchmark for the future of Auckland's skyline.
It's the first building in New Zealand to get the green trifecta, if you like, which means it's built green, it's designed green, and it's also fitted out green.
Well, I'm on the mechanical floor, and behind me here is a massive heat pump, kind of like the ones you have at home, only on a massive scale. And there's two of them, another one down there. Now, also we have a few chillers. There's 3 of those, and they keep the building nice and cool.
The double skin facade is a key sustainable feature.
So this is the double skin facade. It's basically an air pocket that runs the height of the building. And it's an insulation layer in the wintertime, keeping things nice and toasty in there. And in the summertime, they open the vents at the bottom and the top, and the old stack effect happens, keeps things nice and cool.
The double skin facade is probably what we call almost a hero feature for the sustainability. It's a huge undertaking to build a facade of that type. It involves the traditional facade skin being doubled up with an additional skin, and that creates a system that enormously reduces the energy loads put on the building to keep it warm in winter and cool in summer.
It's proudly the most sustainable commercial building in New Zealand at the present time.
The obvious ones being with water, being grey water reuse, so all of the rainwater's captured and reused through the grey water system. Lights aren't on if people aren't in the building. The lights dim down if there's enough light outside for people to work with. And that's all tied back into a state-of-the-art sort of control system.
So if I flick a switch, or flush the toilet, that information goes downstairs. And every activity like that is monitored and controlled down here in the control room, in minute detail.
All the tenants are enjoying Brookfield's exceptional creation.
I mean, they were fantastic to work with. We found that process really good. Obviously, just working through the detail of that process, what we wanted, trying to accommodate us. As you would have seen from the building, it's got great breakout spaces. It's really high quality finishes. Well, certainly the building has every feature that you could possibly want in a building, including the green stay elements, which is also very important. So I think in terms of what the feedback that we've had, certainly people do look at this building in terms of its great design and how it projects in the market, and they think it's a fantastic building and it represents Deloitte. So that's all we could ask for, really.
This project epitomises what we do on every project. We set the benchmark on quality, we try and set the benchmark on green and deliver our tenants, our landlords, the investors and the cities we work in, assets that stand the test of time.
It's about scale, it's about proportion. It's about a refined elegance that comes not only from how the house sits in the landscape, but from the craftsmanship from a brilliant team. This is our supreme winning house.
Placemakers' Supreme Award and Registered Master Builders House of the Year is this Auckland home. Lindsay Construction Limited have for a second time won the Supreme Award. It was also an obvious winner for the Pink Bats Ultra Energy Efficiency Award. Leading the Lindsay team of outstanding craftsmen was project manager Hamish Craig.
We do have a number of sort of older, traditionally skilled tradesmen, very good with hand tools, which is exactly what was required here. Individually, the timber finishing, extremely demanding, with the high stud work, all the exposed heavy timbers. The timber joinery was a huge task.
There were 13 species of timber used, all untreated and mostly handcrafted. I can only marvel at the talent displayed by all those skilled craftsmen that worked on this project.
Check out this detail here. This is a split-face stone. Now, the split-face process, it's a little bit unpredictable. What the guy's done is called the flaming process, and he gets a big torch, much like you'd finish off a creme brulee. He comes in and torches the stone, and it just leaves that rough texture, so it all looks monolithic. And I think he's just done brilliantly. Now, my favourite detail in this whole house, and this is a big house, is this vanity here. It's one piece of marble, one big slab, and it's been beveled back to create the basin here. And the water just slides down through, maybe a 4mm joint there. And then what we have here is a little history of the stone. This is petrified tree root, right from Rajasthan. And they've taken the care to actually book match it in the corners, so you've got a little V there, and I just think it's a remarkable detail.
Part of getting these houses right, these difficult houses, is passion for building and passion for architecture and passion for ensuring that your clients are happy.